Let me get rid of that comment. Hey, everybody. I'm live here with the fabulous Lily Aronin. I am just, we've been talking about Hanukkah, and I've just been, got so sucked into the conversation, I forgot to click the go live button. So here we are. This is the second time I'm going live with Lily because it's just so much fun with her. I'm gonna preface this with an apology. I just got in last night, and I didn't put on any makeup for you guys, so you'll just have to take me as I am. Just need to get that out of the way so that I don't stare at myself and wonder why I look so bad. I mean, this we're just gonna showcase Lily's Hanukkah program because we've been talking about it, and I'm so tickled by it because Hanukkah is a place where we all fall. It just is. It's the fried food. It's the winter time. So you want to eat more and you want to eat more. Ugh. And then you wake up and you look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, and you fall off the wagon. We don't want to do that to ourselves. And we kind of give ourselves permission. It's not like Shabbat, which is one day and then, okay, I have the rest of the week to recover. This is a week. And there is not that there isn't any recovery, but it's a week. It's in the winter. It's like you have everything going against you on Hanukkah. And who doesn't love a good donut or a good latke, or that just the smell. You walk by Roladine in the mall, and it's like you're being slammed in the face all the time with "eat me." Sweet
and parties,
parties,
family get-togethers. How many family parties do we have with all the family tension and stress of the gay aunt you're not speaking to, and this one you haven't seen since before Corona,
and 8 nights, and you light the candles and you're together, and it's anyway. So Lily had next week, is it?
Yeah, a week from today.
Let's get real dates on here. When is it
November 17th.
I'm going to do
5 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm really excited because anybody who was participating in the Sukkot workshop that you and I did together, that special Sukkot program we did, awesome. Who got to be part of the original launch of the Shabbat Ideal Way Blueprint, who has current access or who bought it once, the course launched, it was paid, is going to get this. And they're the only ones who are going to have access. So it's either anybody who's ever signed up for my Shabbat Ideal Way Blueprint course. And I was just so passionate about adding more in because especially for people who started with us over Sukkot and they had this Sukkot that was totally different. And they just got to flip the script in their brain about the first 7-8 day holiday, right, of our year after Rosh Hashanah, like Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot and all these things, to be able to flip the script and say, wow, I can take that same power into Hanukkah. If I can rewrite my story over Rosh Hashanah and I can rewrite my story over Sukkot, then what's possible over Hanukkah? How much more delightful, fun, playful, exciting time can I have this year? Rather than this fight between I want to not gain 20 pounds or 15 pounds or just be in that overdone place, but also I don't want to be deprived. I'd rather start after Hanukkah. Can I just start after Hanukkah? And I hate that because it breaks my heart because you're already saying, I don't really want something that's so sustainable.
Yeah. You're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself. It's exactly that because as soon as you say, well, I'll do it later, I will get to it. It's like a New Year's resolution. Well, on January 1st, I'm going to start. You're not going to. If you already set a start date so far ahead, you're not going to do it.
Not only that, but you're gonna every donut you eat over Hanukkah is going to be the last. Well, I'm starting after Hanukkah, so I better get them all in, as if you'll never be allowed to eat a donut again. If there's this allowed, not allowed, allowed, not allowed. And when I really was intentional about what I wanted my Hanukkah to look like, I was an overweight kid. And when you're an overweight kid, you're life centers around food, your experience of food, and then what everybody else is telling you your experience of food should be. And as an overweight adult, right? It's always like, am I denying myself? Or am I going to like make up for it because I know in the back of my mind I'm going to deny myself again? Denying now, denying later, denying now, denying later. There's not, you get to have fun. You're okay the way you are right now. And if we're really okay, we can treat ourselves with respect and we can feel okay all 8 days of Hanukkah instead of that like rolling issue, right? Like the first time you have that donut, you feel fine. The third time you have that donut, you're already in your head like, I should not have another one. I should not. You know what? I'm not going to have any tomorrow. I'm going to finish the box so they don't call me anymore, right? I better make sure that this is finished so that I don't eat it again. Like that constant denial and deprivation is really what this is about healing, because you could totally have a donut, you could totally have a latke, and if you do it with self-respect, with this like, I want to design, I want to create an experience for myself, you know, then that's amazing. And I realized I've given out Hanukkah worksheets, I've given out Hanukkah cookbooks before, but what I wanted to do different this time was I wanted to do an interactive workshop. So where anything that I know that like, if you think about this, like this, it's going to change your experience this year. I wanted to create time that you set aside. Like, okay, I only have 2 hours, and in 2 hours, that's all the space I have in my very, very, very busy life for Hanukkah. But if I in 2 hours can really change the way I think about the whole thing, then all 8 days is going to be so much more enjoyable. And like, I'm going to have a completely different experience, not only me, but my whole family. Because we all know when mommy's on a diet or when mommy's not on a diet, like it changes everybody's experience. And when mommy is in her head yelling at herself about what she ate, that also affects everybody else's experience. And, you know, we are the center of our home. We're the center of our universe. And if we're not okay, no one else is really going to be okay.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, I tell that, my refrain with people is, if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of everybody else. And you're the example you are for your children. But what I wanted to, it's like you were talking about being an overweight child. I was actually the opposite. And I was the kid they were always pushing food on, and I was really, really thin. I was really, really thin, really, really thin, until one day I couldn't eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like I look at myself in the mirror, especially now I'm, post-menopause, and you look in the mirror and your body changes. And I always say, age is just a number, and it doesn't make a difference. And you know what? I hate to say it doesn't make as much of a difference as people make, but I do have to look at food differently, and I do have to exercise differently, and I do have to do things differently, and I haven't made that mind shift yet. And I think what you're offering is
what's
brilliant.
Amazing about this stage of life that you're in right now? What's amazing about
it? Not just the older kids, which is already amazing. There's a lot of freedom around being able to come and go as you please, and not being, I'm still stuck to, I have one kid in high school, and that's it. Everybody else is out and about doing their stuff. I have a child in the Army. I have, one kid already moved back to the States, which not so happy, but he'll come back. But it's, now I'm me. Now this is my me time more than any other time in my life. I'm building my business, but I'm not studying. I don't have homework. I don't have any work. I have is stuff that I choose to do. So if this is my time to shine, and this is my time to take care of me, to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of, so that I can be an example to my kids and to the world of what it is to be. I'm 59. And I'm fabulous. And
So
I'm never, this is like the best time. This is my time. This is my repeat of childhood. I can have all the play I can do. It's mine.
So it sounds to
And
me like you have made a big mind shift. Now it's just about bringing the way you eat into alignment with that version of you of like, what does the most incredible eating experience feel like in my body at this age? Because I never had the body at this age before. So what's going to make me feel good now is going to be different. I have to like take a clean blank piece of paper and say the same way I reinvented myself in my business and I'm reinventing myself as a mother, right? We have to, every time our kids go into a new stage, we have to completely reinvent ourselves into how we're going to, and if we take the baggage of how they were at 7 into them at 17, like it's not helpful. So the
no,
same thing with our body. Just take a blank piece of paper for this Hanukkah and be like, you know what? This is the holiday of light. I want to meet the most fabulous version of me. So what does that feel like? What do I enjoy feeling like? Do I still have hot flashes? Like, do I need foods that make me feel cooler and lighter? And these other foods, these are making me feel heavier and sluggish. They're not making me feel like 15 fabulous. They're not making me feel that. These are the foods that when I eat them, wow, I just feel like the $1 million that I am. I feel great. These foods, they're just the foods of my childhood. They're the foods of my youth. They're the foods of my 20s and 30s. Like they aren't the foods of today. And
yeah,
the glass of wine or this or that, or those do make me feel great. Or even if it is a donut, like there's room even for foods that don't make you feel great, but they're by the bite. Like if for me, donuts do not make me feel good. I eat a donut, I get a headache. It's too much sugar. It's too much like fried.
no, I make my own donuts. So I lower the sugar and I do them with coconut milk and I do them with spelt flour.
Yep.
And so I make them healthier. And I make them small. I make them like donut holes.
So then what's the problem? Like pay attention and say, hey,
But I
I'm
have to
going to
pay
have
attention to because, right when they come out and they're warm and they're,
exactly.
that's where I have to pay attention because I make a kilo. So, I'm making 150 of them. So, but just being aware. I think that a lot of it is just, it's not the mindless eating. And, my kids still can do that. I can't.
But you know what? When we show our kids that we're not mindlessly eating, the truth is, what does that mean that they can? Like when people were forcing food, I have one daughter who has that issue. She has ADD, she takes medication, and like I noticed myself starting to force food on her, and I had to back off. And I had to be like, you know what? When she's not, medicated, she eats. I need to make sure stuff's available for when she's ready. But the fact of the matter is, mindful eating is a gift. The earlier you have to discover it, the more of a gift it is because you enjoy your food more. And if you love the donuts, then if you ate 5 and you were super mindful, you would have gotten 20x the pleasure of eating 5 straight out of the oven and then been like, ooh, and now wait, should I have more? But I didn't really enjoy them, but I had them and they were the best. But it was more just the quick versus saying, hey, I'm going to make these donuts and I make 150 of them. So if I'm going to make them, first of all, I want to have somewhere I'm sending the extra, or I want to do it on an evening that my kids are there because what I love about the donuts isn't just the donut. Like a donut can only be so good. It's the
Yeah.
experience, it's the memories, it's the making
Yeah.
it.
We do them all together, you know? One
Exactly.
person shakes them, one person sugars them. We make it a family event. So, and that's the fun part about it.
Exactly. So once you get out of your head of I can't have this around because I have no self-control, which I breaks my heart when people say that, because I've felt that way and now I know for sure it's not true and I know it's not true for everybody else too and it can help them get there. But it's this is an important memory for me. So we do sugar cookies. Like I guess it's the American background. We love to decorate Hanukkah cookies. And so every year we pick a different theme and we give all this stuff out, but like we do it after dinner. Like we actually eat dinner first and then we do the sugar cookies. And so like the cookies are made and then we frost them and we have all this stuff. And then we pick out, everybody has one, maybe I leave another one left over for the kids. And then we put the rest in the freezer for Shabbos, or we send them out to neighbors, or we drop them off to the Israeli soldier kind of coffee stand that they have locally, because the fun was making them. And you don't only want to make enough cookies that are appropriate for you to be eating. You want to make 150 cookies because that's the fun activity, you know? And so you want to just have a plan of where they're going to go. And so we'll leave like 7 for us for Shabbos. We'll have one. Like, do I always eat it? Sometimes I have a bite. Sometimes I eat the cookie. It depends how much stuff is on the cookie. I love a good cookie, but like if the kids have put like 8 million kinds of stuff on that, like last year they did unicorns. Oh my God. Like I did not eat that thing. Like it was just like up to here in the shaping and the I don't even know what was on there, but we had a great time. And there are other things that I like. So I also always try to make sure I have things that delight me. Like in terms of food, also on Hanukkah, like I have things that I really enjoy. My husband and I were much more of like a great chocolate chip cookie or like a really great brownie is way more appealing than a donut to me. An ice cream cone while we're out is way more appealing. So like I'll save in my mind like that experience for when they'll get a donut. I'll get an ice cream. Like I can get something too. Or I'll get a coffee because for me, like sitting and eating something while we're like running and all the kids are all over, there's just no way to be mindful. Like I'm mindful of watching them pick out that Roland and donut. I'm mindful of watching them like really enjoy it. And when I actually have time to eat it, I'll eat one if I want one. But like the pleasure is in taking them for that experience. When I'm eating it, I'm missing out on really what is most delightful to me about that whole thing. Like, you know,
I'm really being present to what's going on. That's awesome. I love that.
You know, and it's especially around food because it's like the lowest common denominator. Like, especially if you're in a year where with Corona and everything else, maybe you have a lot of expenses going on. You know, the holidays are so close together this year. And maybe like you're in a bit of a financial struggle. So it's very easy sometimes to go to food or you're really busy. And so it's very easy to be like, okay, I'm going to make this Hanukkah party amazing. I don't have time to do so much decorations. I don't have time to dress up so nice. I don't have time for this, but I can go and I can buy tons of donuts and cookies. So it's like taking a step back and saying, what actually brings me the most pleasure? Am I somebody who loves fashion, loves design, and wants to like create amazing Hanukkah decorations? And instead of decorating cookies, we're going to decorate, you know, a tablescape, you know, or a piece of jewelry, or like the world's the limit. So like open your mind a little bit and be like, you know what, maybe we're even going to have a Lego competition. We're going to take out all the kid Legos and who can make the most creative thing. Like open your mind to say, like, if I could design anything in the world that would actually bring me pleasure, what would I do? Not just like, well, this is how it has to be. Everybody has to overeat. And when we have grab bag and all the food is out, like at the holiday parties, or, you know, I was just at an event recently and like all they had was rugelach and coffee. And like there was no other option at the event. And so like again, if you're there and it's 4 or 5 hours, like you're gonna want to eat something. So it's really coming from the front and being like, I have a lot of holiday parties coming up. Do I want to eat before I go to some of them? Do I want to take on myself to bring a vegetable platter for everybody, whether or not the host asked me? Because I know I want to be fully present there. And if I'm worried about what I'm going to eat, or I'm overthinking about food, or I have food anxiety, that is a huge distraction from what's supposed to be happening at this event. And especially, I think all of us are very sensitive still from Corona, of the touching and the being together, and like how much stamina we have to be with other people now. Like I see a lot of people talking about, you went to a wedding and you used to stay 6 hours and now you're like 2.5 hours in and you're like done, because you're just not used to being around the noise and that amount of people for such a long period of time. So know yourself and be like, it's okay, I can leave early, I don't have to have such a long event. And if you're a host, also keep in mind that like you might be dying to have people over, but like be sensitive. Like everybody's in a different place these days.
Yeah, I love that. I actually I entertained a lot when I was in the States because my husband's living on his own, so he doesn't entertain. So I had people Friday night Shabbos for the two Shabbatot I was there, and it's a different experience than it used to be when you have people over. I didn't realize how much, because here in Israel, I live in a small yishuv. We weren't affected so much about meals with Corona because we're completely out in the boonies, and yeah, you're not supposed to. Nobody's going to stop us.
Right.
But in the States, it's very much more. They're very much more. They're more mindful there. Are you having people, or it's the conversations that you don't expect to have come up, and people are
Mm-hmm.
tickled to be invited because they haven't been invited anywhere in a year and a half.
Exactly. And so
So
then,
it's yeah,
someone
it's a,
wrote to me. Someone wrote to me, they
yeah,
were so excited to try someone else's food. I'm like, yeah, you're excited to try their food, but you know what you're really excited about is to just be invited to someone else's home. So you're thinking about the food because it's become food centered, but really, like if you dig a little deeper, you're so excited that someone thought of you and remembered you and cared about you and invited you, and that you don't have to
yeah.
cook.
There's always see. I love to. I'm a food snob. I don't like eating other people's food because I know what I put in my food.
What are you most looking forward to this Hanukkah?
Oh wow! I have two Hanukkah babies, and hopefully my soldier will be home for Shabbos Hanukkah, which will be really nice. Um, I love that moment, like right when we're all lighting candles together.
Yeah.
And this year it's going to require a little coordination with my husband, but because we're gonna light a little later for here, but when he can light as well, and it'll be a special time where we can be together as a family, and I always love that. And as your kids age out, essentially having everybody together becomes more and more special because it's just not there. It's
Yeah.
not an everyday occurrence, and we're going to have that like consistently. The only day we're going to miss probably is Friday. We're not going to have my husband there with us, but otherwise we're going to be together. And that's what for me. That's what Hanukkah is about. It's the together. It's the taking the time to make sure that we're together, and the playing together, and yes, that you have Shabbos, but this is again, Shabbos is dedicated time, but this is a dedicated week and a half, and it's not. I love Hanukkah because it's not all about going to shul and coming back home. It's about that warmth, the candlelight and the warmth that it brings.
So for me, also, we take out like our rug and like we sit on the carpet and we sing the ma'otsur, and the kids do like dancers. And also my kids, like I have older teenagers now. I only have one who's like still little. And so then it becomes also like, what's amazing is they want to bring their friends over, and then they want to get more, donuts and this, because they want to also do like make it amazing for their friends. And so it's also doing that tweak of like, what's going to really make it amazing for your friend? Your friend, like, she doesn't care about the donut. You're just looking for an excuse to say it's so special, come over. So we can
Right.
totally have the donuts, but like, would you like to do an art activity? Would you like to watch a special movie afterwards? Would you like to remind people that we have the power to create experience beyond just using food as the excuse and the conduit for the experience we want? Because like for me also, it's right after we light the candles, I have like a very strict rule with myself. I prepare dinner ahead of time or afterwards, like, or we order in whatever needs to happen so that I am not cleaning or cooking or doing anything for the 2 hours around candlelight. And that's a long period of time.
It's a lot, especially during the week. Shabbos is Shabbos,
Yes.
but during the week, to dedicate 2 hours every night, and
And it's
I
hard with
love
work.
that.
I have clients, like, and I'll see clients till like midnight, like from America and from here, but I will clear those 2 hours and I'll be like, whatever it takes, that's the most important thing. So I don't want to feel it. Once you realize what's so important to you, what really delights you, then all of a sudden you're really like, you don't want to waste that time just eating. Like, I can eat anytime. I want to spend that time talking. So if there's also a meal there, and the meal is like kind of what keeps everyone sitting together and not on their cell phone and not
Mhm.
doing this, then great. But I don't want to be so concerned about the meal. I want to use it just as a placeholder to put everybody around the table so that
Yeah.
they're there to enjoy. And there are times where I remember, for anybody who like has any issues in the family between their kids or siblings or whatever, where then that's painful. And so then you want stuff to like make it nice because it doesn't feel as nice as you want it to feel. And one thing I talk about again and again in the workshop and in my programming is really releasing it to God and like really getting clear before the event happens. Like, God, I really like some divine assistance here. I love every single person coming tonight, and not everybody gets along, or I still have some feelings about this person from something in the past. I'd really like to just release that tonight. I'd really like to just enjoy it. Like, I invited them, they're coming. My mother invited them, my sister invited them. Like, can it just be nice, please? Can you guide me very clearly with very clear signs and give me the energy to follow through? Because I always ask for very clear guidance, and then I ask for the energy to follow through. Because sometimes you know what you should do, and then you're like, but I just can't control myself and like impulsively say something or do something or eat something that like is not what you wanted. I like ask for really clear guidance, and then I ask for the strength and support to make it happen and release it and be like, he created the world. He made one little drop of like oil last for 7 days. You know, this is the holiday of miracles. Like the one miracle that I think he can handle is like helping me with some impulse control so that I can like fully enjoy what I want. I think he can make
I
it
love
happen.
that. You can make it happen. And I'm a big believer in, God helps those who help themselves. And if you choose it, the support is there. The support is there. You don't even need to think about it.
That's the best part is if you get to be intentional. If you take 2 hours in a workshop or you take some time in advance and you say, hey, I know Hanukkah's going to happen. I know I'm still busy with work. I know I'm not really thinking about it yet. Maybe I didn't buy any gifts yet. Maybe I have no idea what we're doing. Like we're moving right before Hanukkah. I know I'm unpacking is happening. Other than that, I know we have some family visiting from the States that we will see at some point. There is zero plan. But the plan that matters most is just that candle lighting time. And so that is set. I don't know what activities we'll do. I don't know what we're going to eat. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I am not scheduling anything for those, 45 minutes before candle lighting to set them up with the kids and to have the experience and the 45 minutes to hour afterwards. Like that time is sacred. So I'm looking forward to that. And everything else can then fall into the places it needs to create that.
Around that. Awesome. Love that. Love that. So just as a reminder, everybody, Lily's workshop, pre-Hanukkah workshop, is November 17th at 5 p.m. Israel time.
10 a.m.
2 hours.
Eastern. Yes.
It's 2 hours, interactive. Be prepared to work and come away with amazing, amazing tools that will support you not just through Hanukkah, but through the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. And if you can't make it, the recording will be available. But I really suggest if you do get the recording, that you let like a period of time because you're going to want to do the actual assignment. Like if you put 2 hours aside, you'll know for sure you're going to have an amazing Hanukkah, no matter what outside circumstances are going to happen. But if I would just give you the ebook or just give you a class, you're not going to make the time. So showing up live is like, for me, when I do a class, I have to show up because if I don't, maybe I'll watch the recording. Maybe I won't. If I watch it, I'll watch it while I'm washing dishes, in the car, doing 8 other things. I'm not going to fill out the assignment. I'll think about it, but that's just more noise in my head. You want to write out the assignment. You want to get clear. You want to get action items so that you can implement and actually have the Hanukkah you really want.
Awesome. Thank you, Lily, for making that available. And for the stand you are for us to be awesome.
Thank you so much.
Really, you're welcome from the bottom of my heart. So guys, we hope to see you November 17th. Bye for now. This is not